The Carpenter's Final House. Once upon a time, there was a skilled and experienced carpenter, renowned for the beautiful homes he had built over a lifetime of dedication. His craftsmanship was admired, his discipline unmatched, and his reputation celebrated among both peers and clients. Yet as the years passed, fatigue crept in, each nail driven, each beam sawed, and each roof thatched wore on his body and spirit. The carpenter yearned for rest. The idea of leaving behind his saw and hammer and stepping into a quiet and peaceful retirement was all he could think of. Then, as he planned his final days on the job, his employer approached him with a special request to build one last house. The carpenter was disheartened to hear the request, as his heart was no longer in his craft. Feeling drained and ready to leave the work behind, he reluctantly accepted the assignment. It's just one more house, he thought, but his lack of enthusiasm was apparent. Instead of pouring his usual effort into the project, the carpenter barely scratched the surface of his talents. He used cheaper materials, cut corners wherever he could, and paid little attention to the details that had once been a hallmark of his craftsmanship. The careful precision and care he was known for were absent this time. He moved quickly through the project, eager to finish and finally leave. When the house was done, it looked adequate enough from the outside. Still, deep in his heart, he knew it was nowhere near his best work. When the carpenter handed the keys to his employer, he expected nothing more than a polite handshake and a farewell. But to his great shock, the employer smiled warmly and extended the keys back to him. "These keys are for you," the employer said. "This is your house now. It's my gift for all the years of hard work and dedication you've given. May it remind you of everything you've accomplished." The words struck the carpenter like a bolt of lightning. Stunned, he stood there, unable to respond. His mind reeled as he suddenly realized the gravity of the situation. This hastily constructed, poorly built house would be his home. He had unknowingly shortchanged himself, and now there was no going back to fix the flaws or relive the opportunity. As the carpenter walked through the house, his emotions oscillated between regret and enlightenment. The walls carried imperfections, the floors creaked where they shouldn't. Small cracks lined the edges of doors that wouldn't quite close all the way. Each corner of the house silently echoed his carelessness. He understood, perhaps for the first time, a truth that extended beyond the walls of this house. The life one builds is a direct reflection of the effort they exert. Each decision, each action, each moment of commitment, or lack thereof, has a lasting impact. The carpenter had spent his entire career crafting homes for others with great care and pride, but when it came to what would ultimately become his own, he failed to extend the same dedication, and now he was left to live with the consequences of choice and effort, or in this case, the lack of them. The story of the carpenter's final house invites us to pause and reflect on our own lives. How often do we take shortcuts, assuming that it won't matter in the end? Like the carpenter, we may not realize the significance of our actions until long after they're done, when we're handed the keys to the life we've built for ourselves. Every nail you hammer, every beam you place represents the decisions you make, both big and small. The house is a metaphor for your life. The effort you put in today becomes the foundation you live on tomorrow. The carpenter's regret is a gentle, thought-provoking reminder. Give your best in every endeavor, no matter how small it may seem. Even when you're tired or tempted to cut corners, strive for excellence. The life you're constructing is, after all, the one you will inhabit. So, as the carpenter teaches us, honor yourself by building each house of your life with care, integrity, and thoughtfulness. For in the end, you are creating not just for the present moment, but for the years of living that lie ahead.